This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, before I start a demo on the wrap and the Fiori elements in S4 HANA in-app and side-by-side extensions. So let me introduce myself. Okay, so my name is Pubi. I have overall 13 years of experience. I started my career with Abap. Then I moved to SAP Wi-Fi, Fiori, JavaScript, Abap OData, Fiori elements, wrap, side by S4 HANA side-by-side extensions. And I worked on various services on BTP like IoT services, APA services, SAP Build Workzone services, DMS services, okay, and mobility services, workflow services. These are all the services which I work. Can you mute yourself, just please? Yeah, thanks. Okay, so these are the services which I worked on BTP and currently I'm working. That is my experience. And also I worked on various implementation projects on S4 HANA also. So this is my overall experience. So coming to the training from past more than 7 years, I'm giving training on SAP Wi-Fi, Fiori, Abap OData, Fiori Elements, Abap CDS Fuse, Abap Restful Application Programming Model, BTP, and also CAPM model. I will be starting soon, and Node.js. So these are the topics which I'm currently giving training and also services in BTP also. Okay. So today I'm giving demo on the Abap Restful application programming model called RAP. Okay. So this is the demo which I'm going to give. Okay. So what is the agenda? What are the topics which I'll be covering today? SAP evolutions from the starting date to till date. What evolutions has come in SAP that I'm going to cover. ABAP on cloud. Yes. What is the need of ABAP on the cloud? That I'm going to cover. ABAP RESTful, that is ABAP on cloud is nothing but ABAP on BTP. ABAP RESTful application programming model called RAP. Is this a new technology, okay, which we are going to develop the APIs or Fiori applications? What we are going to achieve, that I'm going to cover. S4 HANA in-app and side-by-side extensions is a very latest topic, okay, where we are going to extend our apps. Not only it means that in-app is nothing but extending the, okay, apps and side-by-side extensions. These two topics, what exactly it means it's a new technology where we will be enhancing our apps with very easiest approach using in-app and side-by-side extensions. Evolution of ABAP, yes, from the starting date to till date, what are the evolutions has come in ABAP, and of course SAP Fiori and use case demo. So these are the topics which I will be covering in today's demo. Okay. So SAP evolutions. So see here, I'm not talking about a priority index for using this technique. It is just a representation I'm doing, arrival of different techniques that are introduced in the SAP. I'm not talking about which one came first, which one came second. No, I'm talking about these are the top techniques which SAP has introduced from the starting date to till date, that I'm going to cover. Okay, so now file exchange. Okay, so it is an interface which we all know that we are going to use this file transfer to exchange the data from the SAP system to the outside world. Okay, it is one of the oldest techniques, okay, to provide the data to the third party system from SAP. Okay, without any complex coding and configurations, using FTP and SFTP, we are able to transfer the file from SAP to any third party system. And also with the help of arrival of PI, process integration, the extracted file from the SAP, okay, will be sent to the PI. Their mappings and conversation happens based on the requirements posted by the third party system. And then it is possible to send the file in the desired format called JSON and XML. Okay, so this is the technique which we are following to transfer the data from the SAP system to the third party system. One is FTP and SFTP, and the second one is using PI. Okay, so next RFC. Okay, everyone knows what is RFC, remote functional. Okay, where is another approach, and also it is a classical model. Okay, where we used to communicate. Okay, we used to send the data from the SAP to the SAP or SAP to the non-SAP systems using RFC models. Yes. Okay, it is a remote function call. Okay, so another approach which we are doing is a remote functional call. Okay, so RFC interface is to set up a communication between SAP and non-SAP systems, also between SAP systems. Okay, and also it runs on the client and server concept, where the client seeks for a function to perform and makes a call to the RFC server. This is the one which we are using. BAP is, suppose, see, in an external system which has a what you can say, can call a function model, RFC function model. Okay, so then we are going to send the data. We'll create a RFC function model in our Abap system, and any program, some programming languages has the facility to call the RFC. Okay, so we are sending, we create this RFC in SM59 decode. Okay, so using this technique, we are able to transfer the data from the SAP system to the non-SAP or SAP systems to the SAP systems. That is using RFC. Next is called IDOC. Yes, this is the very older approach which we are following to communicate between SAP to SAP or SAP to SAP systems. Okay, the IDOC provides a filed format for exchanging the data between systems. What is that format of the file? Consists of structures, fields, positions, lengths. Okay, and further divided into headers, data segments, and the status of the record segment. Okay, so what we are doing using this IDOC framework, okay, we are able to transfer the data from the SAP system to the non-SAP systems. So this is the approach which we are following it. Okay, the next approach is called technique which SAP has introduced called SOAP. Okay, with SAP version 7.0 and NetWeaver, SAP introduced a new technology called web services. Okay, for communicating and exchanging the data between SAP and SAP as well as SAP non-SAP systems. See, even now also, if you have in real time, when you want to send a huge amount of data to the third-party systems, instead of using the OData, we can use SOAP service. This is a good approach because I face in my real-time projects when I'm sending a huge data through OData, facing some issues. So we can move back to the SOAP. Okay, using these web services, you will be able to communicate and exchange the data between SAP and SAP to non-SAP systems. Okay, so SOAP is a messaging protocol that is supported by version 7.0 onwards and with NetWeaver, and it is an internet based technology, and it uses HTTP protocol. Okay, so using the SOAP services or web services, we were able to successfully transfer the data from the SAP to the non-SAP systems. Okay, next has come the S4 HANA. Yes, it is the fourth version of the ERP business suite, okay, provided by SAP, which is based on the HANA in-memory database. Yes, when it got introduced during 2015, and it is a evolution happened in SAP in both technology perspective and also the concept in SAP. Okay, over the period, we know that whenever we are using S4 HANA, it is proven that no matter how complex are the business requirements, how large the data is, S4 HANA is capable to deal in every problem. Okay, it is available in on-premises as well as in BTP. Okay, so this we in S4 HANA we are following the code to data paradigm shift. Okay, which comes introduce the CDS views, AMDPs, CDS views, table functions, everything will coming into the S4 HANA. Okay, so using this web services, we were able to successfully transfer the data from the SAP to the non-SAP systems. Okay, Why we required S/4HANA? See, whenever we are writing the code in the application server, okay, whenever we are executing, see, we have two layers. That will you have the lot of performance. But when we are writing the code in the CDS server, it is going to pull the data directly from the database layer. It is sitting on the top of the database layer. So that is the reason with using the CDS views, the performance of your code will be very good. Performance will be very good. Whereas compared to the normal SC38 report programming. So that is the reason S/4HANA is a performance wise, one of the factor performance wise it's good. Okay, the next is called the OData. Okay, using OData, we were able to, as I said, I'm not going to talk about the priority, which one came first, which one came last. I'm talking what are the techniques which are SAP has introduced for us to expose the data from the SAP system to the outside world. Okay, so OData stands for the Open Data Protocol. Okay, yes, this is the future programming model which follows the REST guidelines in exposing the data from the SAP system to the outside world. So OData is a open. Why it is open? See, OData, O stands for open. Why data? Open data. Why? What is it meaning it? Because whenever you develop a OData, okay, it can be consumed by any programming language. Whether you take a Java, Node.js, .NET, etc., AngularJS, anything can consume easily by calling that OData service. It can not only any technology, any devices also can consume. You can open in the browser, anyone can access easily once you open the data, once you create a OData services. Any questions, guys, to this point? Anyone have any questions until now? Is it clear, guys? You guys are understanding, right? Anyone have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, so then comes to the CDS and BOPF. Okay, yes, CDS stands for the core data services, which means, okay, we are extracting the data from the database layer to present to the application so that the performance will be very good. So that is the reason if you convert all your select queries which you are writing in the SC38 program, instead of that, put all the select queries in the CDS views, your report will be executing, will have very good performance because it is consuming, extracting the data from the database layer. Any questions to this point?
So whatever in the select statement or the if conditions we write to like joins, pull the data from different tables. Is it possible in the CDS view?
Yes, absolutely. That is the reason a lot of the companies or organization clients also will tell that please don't use SC38 report programming for writing select queries. Use everything, joins, associations, compositions, everything. And also there is a code to paradigm shift where you can do simple SQL functions, arithmetic functions in the CDS views itself. Simple. So put everything, those simple conditions and collect queries in the CDS. That output you put directly pull it in the report program.
So what is the prerequisite or what is required to write a CDS views? Like
SQL,
normally we go to
SQL, SQL.
SQL.
Yes, that is what which I'm going to teach in my training.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Okay, no questions. Next is called the web APIs. Yes, this web APIs and the behavior definition language is nothing but, it is nothing but a wrap. Is that? It is nothing but wrap. Wrap stands for the Abap Restful Application Programming Model. Okay, so what is this wrap does? Okay, what is it web API does in the future? Abap Restful application programming model called RAP, okay, will be adapted in parallel to OData and Fiori, because it is an open source framework for writing the HTTP APIs like SOAP or REST or using HTTP protocol. Web API can refer to the API on the internet. Okay, so what are these two? Behavior definition language and the web API is the combination of the RAP, Abap Restful application programming model. Okay, using this technology, we were able to expose the data from the SAP to system to the outside world. Okay, in the behavior definition language, we are going to give a behaviors, whether you want to create a record, delete a record, update the record, or do certain actions, validations, verifications, everything we are going to define in the behavior definitions related to the RAP. Okay, so whenever you are developing, want to develop a RAP, you have to mention behavior definition language also is one of the, when you are doing certain validations, crude operations. Okay, so any questions, guys, until now? Is it clear, guys? Yeah, please.
Any difference? What is the difference between OData and Web API?
Okay, see, I got your question. So generally, there are different protocols in the market. Okay, so where to expose the data from the SAP system to the outside world. Okay, so OData follows the REST protocol. Okay, even API also follows the REST protocol to expose the data from the SAP system to the outside world. Okay, but when you are talking about OData, okay, you can filter the data. What type of data? Like you can filter, select, I want this fields. Okay, then I want to filter. So you write the query, right? Okay, you write the query and you will get the data. In the same way, in the OData, you will filter the data using OData. Okay, whereas APIs, you can't filter the data. So that is one more difference between the OData and APIs. Okay, so OData URL can be consumed by any technology. Even the API also can be consumed between any technology.
So
Okay,
I can expose the OData. I can expose the OData as a web API too.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so using OData, you can perform HTTP methods like get, post, put, and delete. Okay, whereas APIs is to expose the data. That's it. Is it clear? Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Any more
Bobby,
questions?
using the APIs, it's like we can't perform the insert and these delete operations. I mean, you told
It
it's
is just
exposing the
yes,
data.
data, correct.
Okay, we can't perform any insert or delete operations.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, any more questions, guys? Okay, let's go to the next evolution of ABAP. Okay, so if you look at this structure, okay, this down thing is the older classical approach where we have ECC and business suite and SAP NetWeaver gateway also we can install in ECC and any DB. Okay, when in the upgrade to the latest technologies, like we have S4 HANA system, we have S4 HANA Cloud, ABAP and HANA. Okay, so if you look at these all the innovations, latest things are done in the ABAP layer. Okay, all the latest things, everything is done in the ABAP layer only. Okay, so what is that they have done in the ABAP layer? Is nothing but RAP. ABAP Restful Application Programming Model. Okay, so they have introduced this ABAP Restful Application Programming Model. Using this model, you can develop applications from S4HANA 1909 on-premises system onwards. You can develop your RAP applications from S4HANA Cloud 1908 onwards. And using this RAP applications, you can develop in a side-by-side extension applications. You can develop OData services. You can, sorry, APIs. Okay, so you can do everything using RAP. Using OData services also you can develop. Okay, of course the database is HANA. So now what is the BTP? So I have spoke about SAP Cloud Platform got renamed to the BTP. What exactly it means? Okay, SAP BTP offers variety of runtimes like Java, Node.js, HANA, and now it is ABAP. Okay, SAP BTP supports necessary runtime. For example, if you want to write the code related to the C in Notepad, we cannot run. We require C compiler. If you want to run a Java program, we have to install the JRE. So Java runtime calls JRE. Similarly, if you want to run a ABAP program, you require a ABAP layer which can understand your code, compile your code, check for syntax errors, and it executes your code. So that runtime environment is part of BTP, and this is we call as service as a platform as service. Any questions? Now you understood what is BTP? Any questions, guys? Anyone have any questions on BTP? What is it? It is going to, yeah, tell me, please.
So can we write OData or web services in the below layer?
You are going to develop in ECC system. If you install SAP NetWeaver Gateway, you can you can develop OData services, right? In ECC system. In
Yes.
ECC system, you install the NetWeaver Gateway component, then you can expose the OData service. In S4HANA, you can develop OData services, you can develop ABAP CDS views, you can develop AMDP, you can develop BOPF, okay, you can develop the, what I can say, the UI annotations, everything you can do in the S4HANA systems. But in ECC, you can only expose OData services only. Is it clear? Any
Yeah.
questions?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, so now all the new developments or innovations, everything is happening in the ABAP RESTful application programming model in BTP as well as on-premises system. Okay, so what is RAP? RAP is nothing but ABAP RESTful application programming model. Is focused on building end-to-end custom business applications using the components like CDS, behavior definitions, behavior implementations, and manipulations. For all this, with the help of this, we are implementing in the building the enterprise grade applications. We are building the enterprise grade applications. Okay, so now finally, what is RAP? It is a new programming language focused on building end-to-end custom business applications using the components like CDS views, behavior definitions, manipulations, behavior implementations, and using this one, we are building the Fiori apps as well as OData services. Any questions, guys? Anyone have any questions? What is RAP? Understood?
So, I mean, we already developed these things using HANA Studio, right? CDS and AMDP and all. So why
Correct.
why they came with this
RAP.
I mean rep? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
See,
it's a kind of a cloud thing or what?
no,
Plug
no,
and play
no,
or
no,
what?
no, no. It is not cloud. It is available from S4HANA 1909 system onwards. If your system is greater than or equal to 1909, you have RAP by inbuilt installed in your system. That is clear. And it is available in BTP also. Okay. Next, what is, we have CDS views, we have AMDP and everything. But what is RAP is, it is a technology which SAP has introduced to develop your applications in more efficient way with having good consist of good concepts, tools, frameworks, languages and best practices they have introduced so that we can develop in our applications in the efficient way. Is it clear? That is RAP. So what are these frameworks? What are these best practices? That is nothing but your behavior definitions, behavior implementations, those all service definitions, service implementations. So everything they have come up with good new framework to develop your APIs and the OData services and Fiori apps. Is it clear? Did I answer your question?
No. Actually,
Okay.
I asked that what is the use of this thing then, Eclipse and all. So Eclipse will
No,
be
no,
there or
I'll tell
not?
you. Yes, Eclipse will be there. Using that Eclipse only, we are going to develop the RAP applications. Okay.
Okay.
But your question was, we have already MDP and CDS use. What is the usage of RAP? That is your question, right? That is the reason I was telling
No,
that
my
they
question
have
is,
a.
I mean, we are developing CDS AMDP
Mhm,
with Eclipse installed, right?
mhm. Correct.
So that I'm not understanding what is RAP then. I mean, why SAP is changing so much fast?
Okay. Okay. Let's take that. I'll give you an example. Okay. You have developed one CDS views. Okay. Now you want to expose into the Fiori app. Perfect. Fine. Okay. Now you have developed the CDS views in OData V2 version. Let's think that. Okay. Now we have OData V4 version. I'm just giving an example to you. Okay. Now client says OData V4 version, which has more advantages than OData V2. Can you develop in the OData V4? Your client says. Now for that you have to develop from the scratch. Again, you have to develop from the scratch, like CDS views, everything you have to develop from the scratch to convert into V4. But if you introduce RAP, okay, not required to develop from the scratch. Okay, you can use that service and you can convert it one step to V4 and you can consume it. How this is happening? By introducing the best practices, best frameworks, best concepts. One of the advantage I'm telling why we required RAP than old approach. Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah. What is the difference between ABAP and cloud versus Abap Restfull programming model?
What is the difference between you were talking about ABAP and RAP,
On
or you're
ABAP,
what? I didn't understand your question.
ABAP and cloud
Okay. And
RESTful programming model.
okay. There is no difference. RAP is available on the BTP. We can call it as ABAP and cloud also. Okay. So is it clear?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any more questions, guys?
Hello, this is Hemant.
Yeah, please tell me. Yes, tell me, please.
You just mentioned like RAP is mainly for excluding the OData. You just
And
now you
developing
mentioned,
Fiori.
right?
Yeah, and developing
Yeah.
Fiori applications.
I think for OData, they have their own advantages. Correct? I think you will agree that.
You're talking about OData.
Why we need to use
OData
one
is a, yeah, please
OData?
go ahead. Complete.
Yeah,
Hmm.
backend. Backend. In
Hmm.
coming to the CDS, you are AMDPs. You can only select the
Hmm.
data and you can push it. Correct?
Where you will push it?
Whereas in OData, in the
Hmm.
front end, in the way Fiori
Using
end.
AMD. Okay, okay, okay. 1 second, 1 second. How
Yeah,
can you
using
push the data?
AMDP
Uh-huh.
through
Okay,
OData services only. In RAP, you can do the managed or unmanaged views. You can create and you can publish it. That is another concept. But
correct.
ignoring the OData
Okay,
features is not correct to the end my point. Why like
but I
in
have
OData you can post
where I,
the documents, correct?
no, no. Did I said ignoring the OData? I
No,
have
you
said
only said
anything,
that
or you are?
you have like no no no. You mentioned like uh, version V02.
Oh, see, I'll
Uh,
tell you what. I'll tell you. See, OData, SAP OData has different versions. Okay, like OData, starting it was OData V0, and later it was OData V2, and another is called OData V4. Whenever you develop, you are in SAP system, okay, whenever you slash a develop maintain service, you will be having versions. Okay,
correct,
we, yes, like SAP system, we have 1809, 1909. Okay, like that. Even OData itself has versions.
correct.
Okay, now in your SAP system, you are in the 1909 S4HANA system or 1809 S4HANA system. Okay, you have developed OData V2 version because V4 was not there in 1809
Okay,
older versions. You have upgraded your system to 2021 version. Okay,
okay,
now your client says, hey, V4 is available in the 2021 version. Why can't you develop V4 version OData, which you have developed in V2? Now, if you have used RAP methodology, you can easily develop V4 version instead of developing from the scratch by using the old approach. That is what I'm first telling. And I have not spoke about the OData. With the help of OData only, we can easily develop V4 version by using the best practices in the RAP. I will show
so
you. By
that
end
means
of the day, you will get an idea.
uh,
By end of the
that
day,
means
end of the training, I'll show you
uh,
easy. What is it?
okay. You mean to say not ignoring the OData, using the OData, you will develop the wrap functionality, correct?
Correct. With the RAP methodology, we are going to expose the OData. That's the function. Okay, using the RAP methodology by introducing the best concepts, best methodologies, best practices, we are exposing the OData. Is it clear?
Clear. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. So if your evaluation of the Abap to till date, if your system is less than or equal to 7.5, then we used to have a classical approach, classical Abap programming model and normal Abap. Okay, as an architect, okay, you can propose to your client that, hey, I am still in the 7.4 less than 7.4 version, so we cannot do any innovation things. And if you move little bit greater than or 7.4, we have Abap programming model on Fiori, SCGW, OData services, CDS views, and BOPF. But if it is the latest technologies from 1909 S4 HANA system onwards, they have introduced RAP. And instead of SCGW, OData, we will develop business services and also behavior definition implementations, and also it has CDS views. See, it is the changing the methodology to expose OData. It is not, I am not completely avoiding OData. We are exposing the OData by introducing the best concepts, tools, frameworks, languages, and best practices. Is it clear? We are developing the RAP applications. You can see I can develop Fiori apps APIs. It's nothing but OData. And we also RAP can be used in both greenfield developments and brownfield developments. Suppose, okay, you are in S4 HANA 2020 1909 system onwards. You are there. Now you can develop using RAP methodology. You can develop from the scratch applications using greenfield developments. That is called greenfield. Whereas brownfield is you have an existing report programming, okay, where you can convert. See, you cannot convert. There is no tool to convert, but you can convert that report program into the RAP methodology. Now you can ask me what is the advantage of convert? Why we require to convert? Because one day everyone has to move to the BTP. S4 HANA Cloud, public or private. There RAP is available, not SC38 report programming. So if you start converting slowly one by one into RAP methodology, so when you are upgrading your system to the cloud or BTP, so that time it is a straightforward implementation. Instead of converting every SC38 programming into the RAP, it's very, very complex. So that is the reason we have to use RAP. Any questions to this point? Because I have worked on S4 HANA implementation. I was there in 1809 and we were moving to 2022 and we have converted most of the report programmings into the RAP methodology because my client wants to go in the pipeline. They want to move to BTP. Any questions to this point? So we converted all the interfaces to the RAP, and we have converted all the what I can say the report programming, most of the reports to the RAP, so that in their pipeline they will be moving to BTP, and it will be easy implementation. Any questions? Very important. Now you can propose to your organization this one. Our clients, sorry, because this is which I was. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me.
Sorry, so in brownfield developments, whatever developments we have done so far, so we can move. So what you said, like it's move or we can transfer. How is it
No,
possible?
no, no. See, I'll tell you what. In the brownfield developments, okay, you have total code already. Everything is there. Okay, you have to convert into the RAP methodologies. There is no tool is there. Just click run and just execute. No, it's not like that. You have to develop it. You have the existing code. You can convert the entire code into the RAP methodology.
So
Whereas
again, this will
greenfield,
be
you
from
will
scratch
develop from
only.
there. No, 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 no. See, you can convert that what I can say the entire code into a function model, and you can just call the function model in the RAP. Or you can use the custom entity concept in the RAP methodologies. You can easily convert it. Okay.
So same code will be run as part of
Yes.
this.
Yes. Correct. You won't write new code. Same code you can run it.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions? No questions. So now what we are going to, what are the different things are there in the RAP methodology? Okay, so we have a database table. Of course, we can create a database table using CDS views, or you can use existing database table and you can write a CDS view to consume that data. Okay, on the top of the CDS, that is now it comes to the new RAP. Okay, you will convert that CDS view, okay, into the root view. When I use the keyword root, it means it is a wrap methodology, we are following it. And we are writing the data definition language. And if you want to restrict the data, you can use data access control. And you will be writing UI annotations to develop the Fiori application. That is called metadata extensions. On the top of this, you will create a behavior definitions where you will put you will give the behavior of your application or the APIs by putting all the crude operations or verifications and validations. You will put everything in the behavior definitions. On the top of this, you will create behavior implementations where you will write further definitions which you have defined in the behavior definition. For that, you will write ABAP code, ABAP code. So this is the high level picture of the detail of the wrap methodology. Any questions? No. So now in old approach, it is called Abap programming model on Fiori, where we are creating a table and we are creating interface view that reads from the table. We are creating a consumption view that reads from the interface view. We create a metadata extension files. We create a SCGW OData. That is what which we used to do, old approach. Now, what is a new approach is there is no SAP GUI will come into the picture at all in the wrap methodology. Everything you do in Eclipse, whether you're on premises or in the BTP. Okay, there is no /i develop maintain service, there is no SCGW, there is no registering the service. Everything you will do in the wrap. That is what best concepts, best practices they have introduced to develop the Fiori application or data services. So what are the extra steps? Yes, we create an table. We create a CDS view that reads from the table. We create another CDS view that reads from the interface CDS view. And we create a metadata extension files. And we will be defining entities business object. This is the word we use, the keyword called root. On the top of this, we create a behavior definitions, implementations, behavior projections, service definitions, and service bindings. So these are all steps we are going to do extra when we are developing a Abap Restfull programming model, application programming model. So you can ask, hey, here I have very less steps. Here I have more steps. Then what is the advantage I'm getting? Yes, let's say we have developed a OData service. I think that is what I brought the point. We have developed a OData service V2 service with the OA annotations. Now your manager or client says, hey, I want an additional OData V2 service without a Fiori element app. See, you have used developed with the Fiori app V2. Now client say, I don't want Fiori app. I want without Fiori element app. Client says, now if your client says, hey, now I don't want V2, I want OData V4 service, please use that. It has a lot of advantages. Means third party system is consuming your OData service. Let's take that, assume. And third party system comes and says, hey, we are deprecating V2, use V4. Now you have to develop from the scratch if you are using older version. If you are using new version called wrap, it's a one-time step. Is it clear? So like this, there will be a lot of complex requirements will come into real time. So you can, using this wrap methodology, you can easily achieve. That is what I'm planning to say. Okay. Any questions, guys? No. Okay. So now what is the today demo, what we are going to develop? Okay. We are going to use a database table. We are going to create a custom table on the BTP. Okay. Then we are going to create a CDS view on the BTP and consume the data from the database table. On the top of this database table, I'm going to create a behavior definition where I'm going to implement create operations, update operations, and delete operations. I think I'm not recording. 1 second. Yeah, thanks. I'm recording. Okay. So next, on the top of this behavior definition, I'm not going to do in the demo behavior implementations because it's we have very less time. Okay, so I have to complete it. So we'll not go for behavior implementations. Okay, so then we are able to create it, delete it, update it if you are using the managed approach. That is what which we are going to do. Then on the top of this, I'm going to create a service definition, service bindings, and consume in Fiori application. So this is which I'm going to do demo. So let's develop that what we are going to do. Okay. So now if you go here in the BTP, I'm not going to go in detail level now what is BTP and everything. So but I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to do. So this is a BTP account. Okay. And I'm getting inside my sub account. So how to create these accounts and everything will be part of my training. So, but as a demo, I'm going right away. Okay, now we are going to use Abap service. This is the service. Abap on cloud, whatever maybe this. Then this instance which is there, I have added in my Eclipse. Then I'm able to develop the applications. Is it clear? Any questions to this point?
Come again. What we have done in the BTP, then we link to the Eclipse.
We have added this instance. This instance in my Eclipse. This is the instance. Okay, you will understand in training how to add that instance and everything, but I'm just letting you know high level picture. Okay, so now I can create a package and we can start developing like this. I can create a package. Okay, like this I have created and we can start the development. Now, what I'm going to do now in my demo, I'm going to create a database table, right? So simple, right click, new, other Abap repository, data dictionary, sorry. Database table. Next, I'm giving a name of the database table. So as a demo, I'm just copying pasting, but in my training, I'll just write. Okay. Create table. Next, and create a transport request. Okay, so now let me copy paste the code. Your delivery class, table category, enhancement category, everything we already know. So instead of doing, because in BTP you won't see SAP GUI screens at all. Okay, so that is the reason in the down the line, even SAP is completely wiping out. Slowly they will wipe out a future SAP GUI and they will do everything in the Eclipse. Okay, so yes, I have created a table. I can just execute also. Of course, there will be no data in the table. Yes, I created a database. Now I'm going to create a CDS view to fetch the data from this database table. So right click on the package, new, other repository and search for core data services. And here I'm creating a data definition. So I'm just giving a name. Let's send a transport request. I'm just giving as of now define view and finish button. Then I'm writing the query to get the data from the database table. Simple query. Select the from. Okay. And I'm giving my table name. Okay. Then you have to view here view name. Now let's understand what are these facets. See, this SAP is providing certain templates for you to develop the Fiori applications. okay, which is inbuilt template like reuse, ALV, grid, display, function model. What you are doing, you are writing the select query and pushing the data output, your grid is coming. You have not written any code in the to display the grid, right? In the same way, SAP is coming out certain templates. You are going to use the template. You will push the CDS views output data to that OData data to the template and it will display. But to enhance the template, we are using some annotations. Okay, now I'm going to activate this one. So before activating, this is the old approach. If I convert this into a business object by giving the keyword root, okay, it means I'm converting into the wrap methodology, and we call it as a business object in the wrap methodology by giving the root keyword. Is it clear? Any questions? Now, for this one, I'm going to create a behavior definition. Behavior definition I will create. Let's go to CDS view, right click, behavior definitions. So here you have managed, unmanaged. Whenever I'm using manage, creating the record, deleting the record, updating the record will be taken care by framework itself. You not required to write anything. Is it clear? I don't have any authorizations for this one and for the demo. Oh, you see, creating the record, updating the record, deleting the record for this table will be taken care by framework. Okay, now I'm not going to create any implementations. Okay, so that is the reason I'm going to comment the code. Here we can create an implementation, we can write ABAP code. Okay, but this is a demo, I'm going straight forward. I'm just activating this. Now I'm going to create a behavior definition. For this one, I'm going to create a service definition. Okay, so right click on the CDS view, new service definitions. I'm giving a name for the service definitions. So here you will tell what type of CDS views you want to expose. You will be mentioning that. It's not only one, you can mention multiple CDS views you want to expose. You will mention here. This is what the wrap will come into the picture. Now the question comes. Okay, now you see for this expose CDS view, now I'm going to create a service binding. Now you see. Now when I see, this is the best practice. See, with this service definition, you can create UI app, you can create a V2 UI app, you can create V2 API, you can create V4 UI, you can create V4 Web API. I have not gone through this is a SQL Web API as of now. So you can create n number. See, this many types you can create. Now, right now, I'm creating V2 Fiori app. Now I'm clicking next. Okay, now finish button. Okay, now I will be clicking on activate. Okay, then publish. So now client, now after 6 months, that external vendor will come and say, hey, I don't want V2, I'm deprecating in my entire system, please follow V4 protocol. I'm just giving, this is how the real time you will face projects. Now, okay, now in old approach, you have to go from the scratch. Now in the new approach, I will go directly to the service definition. Okay, I will create new service binding. Okay, then I will say V4. That's it. I won't do from the scratch. Is it right? Is it so easy? I'll go and I'll say V4. That's it. Done. I'm done. Is it clear? This is what I'm telling. If you follow the best practices, the best concepts, that is called a wrap. where you're exposing your OData services or a Fiori app with the help of wrap new methodology. Is it clear? Any questions, guys? So it will take some time. We have to wait. So what we are developing a Fiori application. So let's go. Before it comes, we already crossed the time. That's the reason I'm going fast. So what is SAP Fiori? So people think SAP Fiori, it is a technology. It is a technology? No. SAP Fiori, it is not a technology. Then what is SAP Fiori? It is a platform? No. SAP Fiori, it is not a platform. Then what is it? It is just a guidelines to develop the user interface by SAP. So SAP Fiori, it is not a technology. It is not a platform. It is just a guidelines to develop the SAP Fiori, SAP UI applications. So what are these guidelines? Okay, role based. Okay, designed for you, your needs, how your work. Until the application is assigned to your user, you will not able to access the application. So that is the reason it is a role-based responsive. Whenever you say Fiori application, it should automatically support to the desktop. It should automatically support to the tablet. It should automatically support to the mobile. So it is a responsive. Focus. Whenever you are developing a Fiori application, you should focus on main fields. You should not put everything like we have sales order VS01 transaction, a lot of tabs, a lot of fields, too complex like purchase ME21. But when you're developing a Fiori application, you should focus only on the important fields. The end user should not get confused. Okay, so this is the guidelines of developing SAP Fiori applications. Core and provide one fluid seamless experience. See, you see creating this VS01, the screen is completely different while creating the invoice. When creating the purchase order also, it's completely different. But whenever you are developing a Fiori application, you should please we should follow the all the creations in the same template, deletings or updates, so that end user will not get confused. That is the reason. Provides one fluid seamless experience. Delightful makes an emotional connection. When you have to develop your Fiori application in such a delightful, so that end user will get an emotional connection to work. So if you follow this all these guidelines, then it is called a Fiori application. Is it clear? Okay, so Fiori, it is not a technology, it is not a platform, it is just a guidelines to develop the Fiori applications. Is it clear? I have activated, I got a URL, right click, and in the older approach, we have to consume in the web ID or a BAS to see it. But in the latest approach, SAP is providing by default template to open as a developer, Abap. You can only open the app and see how it works using this template called a list report object page. Now you see, this is a report I have developed. It's a Fiori app. Okay. Now I am able to create a record. Okay, you see, I have not used any code all. Okay, customer name. I'm just giving test sales or AU10 amount. I'm giving something currency USD. Okay, I'm just clicking on create button. That's it. So I have not written any logic to create a data. Okay, I have not written any. You can update also. You can click go button. It will come here. Okay, so now you go to this table and execute this table. You will be seeing the data. I have not written any code at all. Okay, so the framework I have used a managed. Okay, the framework will take care of the creating the record, deleting the record, updating the record itself. Okay, now you see, now I'm going to develop in V4 version. A client says, I don't want V2, please develop. Simple. Service binding V4. V4, I'm just giving service binding. Next, finish button. Yes. Activate. You see V4. So all the features of V4 will be available, applicable to here. Then publish. Is it clear? This is V2 and this is V4. If any future any V6 comes or V, okay, yes, just a simple step from your side. Okay, so now this is called the Fiori app. Okay, now this, when you say Fiori app, it is automatically support to all the devices and it follows automatically these guidelines. Of course, SAP has developed the template and are just using the template to expose your OData into Fiori applications. Any questions until now, guys? Just to wrap up fast. Just give me another 10 minutes. Yes. Any questions?
So what is the difference? Like, what's there in V2 and V4?
That is a different, again, that is a long, every version has its own
Okay.
upgrades and everything, right? That's a different
Okay.
version. Okay.
Okay.
That's a different, complete another new topic.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions?
So as in
Hi, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So yeah, as in like we created reports in SC38, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in that we have fetched the data and display on the output screen, and
Mm-hmm.
even we are sending emails to the user. So how it possible here in this way, writing through
Yeah.
RAP?
See, when you are, see, right now I am using in the BTP. Okay.
Hmm.
In BTP, you will not be having a server email files, what is that, server, email server. But if you are up, you are hosted in the RAP service available in your on-premises system, you have already, you're in the on-premises system, you can use that mail server to send it. Okay, that is, I'm talking about
Okay.
RAP in on-premises system. That is clear. I'll come to RAP on BTP.
Okay.
Is that is clear?
Yeah.
Okay, coming to the wrap, you see in BTP, you will not get everything in one. You have to buy it for each one, it has its services. Okay, so everything will not come in everything, like the SAP on-premises system is everything you are getting. But in the, see, you will not get everything in one. You have to buy it. That's it. So these are the various services. Okay, so for example, you want to store the document. You have a document management service. You have to buy it. Okay, and you have a Fiori launchpad, you have to buy it. This is one more service. You have to buy it. Each service is independent. And you have to run a background job. Yes, there is a service called background job service. You have to buy it. Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Hi, Bobby.
Yeah,
Uh,
tell me.
you said that going forward, when BTP will be implemented, so no more SA38 programming development will be there.
I said when you are
So
moving to BTP, when
yeah,
you are moved to BTP. Okay.
yeah. When it's moved to BTP, so
Hmm.
there won't be any SA38 programming development.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have lot of programs like jobs which runs in a background.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also possible into the BTP, like
Yeah, I said just now,
the
I said no,
programs.
there is a service called, what you can say, there is a service called the background job service. You can
Okay,
develop a data, you can consume in that service.
okay.
Mhm.
And another one,
Mhm.
so you developed now for demo you developed one CDS, and for RESTful application you added the root keyword into that define statement
Mhm. Go ahead.
in the CDS.
Correct.
Yeah. So uh, what
What?
if that CDS is used in some other application as well, and if we want to add and use that CDS in RESTful application, so would that CDS used at both places will be
Okay.
able
So
to
now
use?
you're telling that you were, see, generally a parent object, okay, as a business object, okay, we should not. It will be good practice to consume in the different perspectives. okay, as a developer. Okay, so it is not a good practice to use that as in different ways. We will, that is the reason SAP has come up with a concept called what is it? Not 1 second. What is that concept? We create interfaces and we create a consumptions model, virtual data model concept. Okay, so using this approach, we are dividing our CDS views in different ways. Okay, whenever you say consumption view or a business object, it is not a good practice to consume the CDS view in another CDS view, because it is consuming in a Fiori app. So with the guidelines of the virtual data model, we will not use. It's not like that you can use, but it's not a good practice to use it. That's what I'm planning to say.
Okay.
Using the concept of virtual data model. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Now let's go. See, there is a new concept called S4 HANA in-app and side-by-side extensions. Okay. So what is this, right? See, until now, okay, you are developing your applications, everything, right? Using the RAP methodology or whatever maybe, or old approach. But using these S4 HANA extensions, with the concept of S4 HANA in-app and side extensions, with the certain applications in the S4 HANA, you will be able to create a table. You will be able to create a custom CDS view. You will be able to extend the standard Fiori app. You will be able to develop the KPIs without any coding. So using the S4 HANA in-app extensions. Is it clear? There are SAPs providing certain apps, standard apps. You can use the standard apps. You can create a KPI without any writing the code CDS view. You can develop a custom CDS view without writing anything in Eclipse. You can implement a custom business logic, create custom business objects or custom fields without any code. Is it clear? That is the concept of S4 HANA in-app extensions. I know you can ask me question why SAP is doing this much evaluations. That is no answer. They are coming up daily one new topic. Okay. So now any questions on the in-app extensions? This is called the in-app extensions, where using these apps, you can develop without any coding. You can develop custom CDS. You're not going to Eclipse and write the query, not required. You can develop a KPIs, KPIs means charts. You can you can add new fields without any logic. You can add new fields using the custom fields. So
So
like this.
Bobby, in this phase, there is a issue with the future of SAP Abap consultant, right? I mean, if they are developing such a thing, then if there is no coding, then it will end our career or what?
I can only just bring the latest technologies what are there. I can't say what SAP is going. Okay. So if you look at this RESTful HANA latest technologies, I don't know whether you have listened that SAP built process automation. Okay, it is just a drag and drop where you can develop the applications. So that's all. It's evolution. It's happening, and we can't stop it. I can only bring all the latest technologies in my training. I understood your question. Okay, next. So what is side-by-side extensions? Let's understand. Suppose you have an API and you are using that API hub. You know, anyone knows the SAP API hub? Anyone have listened? Okay, SAP is providing an APIs to expose it, and you can call those APIs in your SAP Fiori applications. Means the API is separate and your application is separate. So you are clubbing both into one, where you can develop that API separately. You can develop your Fiori application separate. So this one of the concept. This is called as side-by-side extensions. Is it clear? Suppose you are developing a Fiori applications, okay, and you are trying to create a purchase order, let's assume. But whenever you're creating a purchase order, you require a vendor and products. But that vendors and products is not there in your tables. It is coming from some external. Now you can consume that external vendors API in your application, and you can display the list of the vendors and the products. So the external vendor API is called separate, and you are building your application separate. This is called side-by-side extension. Is it clear? One of the side-by-side extension has a lot of features, lot of things, concept. I'm talking about one of the thing is called side-by-side extensions. Any questions? Anyone have any questions, guys? Until now. Okay, so I'm just stop sharing. Then let's discuss about what are the topics which I'll be. 1 second. Let me share back. Okay. You guys are able to see my screen, right? Yes. Okay, so I'll start with Abap CDS views, where we'll be talking about what are the topics which I'll be covering in the remaining training. Okay, so I'm starting new batch on exactly on May 8th onwards. That is May 8th, new batch. Okay, so what are the topics which I'll be covering? Abap CDS views, of course. In RAP, we should have CDS views knowledge. CDS views, table functions, expressions, operations, built-in functions, associations, joins, compositions, parameters, cardinalities of associations, value helps, everything, virtual data model, virtual elements, okay, basic views, composition views, consumption views, everything we'll be developing using Abap CDS views. Then we'll be developing Fiori list report object page, okay, analytical list page, okay, overview page, analytical list page, list report object page using FIORIABAP. Sorry, Abap CDS views with UI annotations. Okay, then we'll be building KPIs using Abap CDS views. Okay, we'll develop the standard Fiori apps using Abap CDS views. Okay, then we will be going to the S4 Hana in-app and side-by-side extensions on premises and cloud. Then we will be covering SAP Fiori. What is SAP Fiori? How to deploy as a tile, as a Fiori launchpad, catalogs, tiles, groups, target mapping, semantic objects, activation of the standard Fiori apps, deploying a custom app and displaying as a tile in the Fiori launchpad. Everything I'll be covering in the training. Okay, then we will move to the RAP. Abap Restful application programming model. We are going to do it on premises and as well as in the BTP. Managed, unmanaged use case, how to create database tables, service definitions, service bindings, implementations, core data services, projection views, UI annotations, authorizations. There is a concept in the RAP called EML, entity manipulation language, how to implement the CRUD operations, error handlings, everything I'll be covering. How to upload the attachment, how to implement isolated, how to consume external API in the RAP using side-by-side extensions, how to use multi-selections in list report, how to hide the tabs dynamically, how to implement BAPIs using the Abap Restful application programming model. Okay, how to have parent and child relationships, how to implement filterings, how to custom entity, everything will be covering. And we are going to use Abap service in BTP, business application studio service in BTP. We are going to use SAP built work zone service in BTP. And we are going to use SAP Web ID and business application studio in BTP to develop Fiori applications. Okay, so any questions, guys, until now? So recording all the study materials, PPTs, programs where you can download. Okay, and recording videos will be there, view access for online class as well as recording videos options. I have two options. One is online class. Who are not able to attend the online class, they can go opt for recording videos option. Okay, so now what is the fees? So one second. Any questions, guys, until now?